My girlfriend said her therapy appointments were on Thursdays. Her therapist only works weekends. I found out completely by accident. We'd been together 3 years, and I never once questioned her Thursday routine. She'd leave around 4 p.m. and return by 7 looking emotionally drained. Sometimes her eyes were puffy from crying. I figured therapy was helping her process the childhood trauma she'd mentioned once. I never pushed for details because mental health is personal. Then last month, I needed to reschedule my own counseling appointment, and the receptionist mentioned Dr. Langford down the hall had availability. I recognized that name immediately. That was Nadia's therapist, the one she'd been seeing every Thursday for 2 years straight. I called Dr. Langford's office pretending to be a new patient. The receptionist was very clear. Dr. Langford only sees patients on Saturdays and Sundays. She teaches at the university during the week. My whole body went cold. Every Thursday for 2 years. That's well over 100 times Nadia had lied about where she was going. I didn't confront her immediately. I needed to understand what was happening first. The following Thursday, I told Nadia I had to work late. Instead, I parked down the street from our apartment and waited. At exactly 4 p.m., she walked out wearing medical scrubs. I'd never seen her in scrubs before. She drove across town to a neighborhood I didn't recognize. She parked outside a small house with a wheelchair ramp and flower boxes in the windows. An elderly woman appeared at the door. Nadia embraced her for a long time before stepping inside. I sat in my car for nearly 3 hours watching through the windows. Nadia was helping the woman do physical therapy exercises. She prepared dinner, and they ate together at a small table. She brushed the woman's thin white hair while they watched television. At one point, they were both laughing so hard, the woman was wiping tears from her face. When Nadia finally emerged, she sat in her car for several minutes crying before she drove away. I raced home and pretended I'd just gotten back from work. That night, I couldn't sleep at all. Who was this woman, and why was Nadia lying about visiting her every single week? I searched the address through public records. The house belonged to someone named Gladys Trevino. She was 84 years old and had been living alone since her husband passed 7 years ago. But there was no connection to Nadia that I could find. No shared last name, no family link, nothing at all. The next Thursday, I followed again. Same routine, the scrubs, the drive across town, 3 hours of caregiving, tears in the car before leaving. This continued for 6 weeks before I finally broke. I confronted Nadia when she got home one evening. I told her I knew she wasn't going to therapy. I knew about the house. I knew about Gladys. She went completely white. Her hands started shaking and she sank onto the couch like her legs couldn't hold her. How long have you known? 6 weeks. She started crying immediately. Not gentle tears, heavy sobs that shook her entire body. I sat beside her and waited patiently. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely a whisper. Gladys was my foster mother, the only good one I ever had. She explained everything that night. She'd bounced through 11 foster homes between ages 6 and 16. Most were neglectful. Some were abusive. But Gladys had been different. 2 years of stability and genuine love. Then Gladys's husband had a stroke and couldn't care for foster children anymore. Nadia was placed elsewhere and lost contact completely. I found her again 4 years ago. She was alone and sick and nobody was helping her. Her only son died in Afghanistan. She had no one left in this world. Nadia wiped her face with her sleeve. I couldn't tell you because I was ashamed. Ashamed that I came from foster care. Ashamed that the only real mother I ever had wasn't actually my mother. Ashamed that I was sneaking around like I was doing something wrong when all I was doing was taking care of someone who once took care of me. I pulled her close and held her while she sobbed. Why did you say it was therapy? Because in a way it is. Being with her heals something inside me that nothing else can touch. Last month, I finally met Gladys. She held my face in her wrinkled hands and said, "Thank you for loving my girl. She deserves someone who sees how special she is." Now I drive Nadia to Gladys's house every Thursday. Sometimes I stay and watch old movies with them. Sometimes I do repairs around the house while they talk. Gladys calls me her grandson now. Nadia finally told me her real childhood story. All of it. The homes that hurt her. The families that gave up on her. The caseworkers who forgot she existed. And the one woman who didn't. There was never any affair. There was never any betrayal. Just a broken girl trying to protect the only mother who
Click the link on the homepage to watch the full follow-up for free.